Okay, the 0 has showed up. So I think that means we're live. So for this, as the title describes, this will just be a chill coding stream. So the updates are, I mentioned that last week. I've got the notice for when the next hearing is. So on May 26th, that'll be the N13 merits hearing, where we'd discuss whether the vacant possession is actually necessary for the proposed renovations. The next item is I've completed the script for the next video. It took me way longer than I had hoped to finish that, but that is finished. And this week I actually started the filming for the next video. So that definitely won't be done this week, but it's going to be another long one. So yeah, then that's not many updates. And the goal for this stream is just going to be a chill coding stream. So I'll try to do a little bit of work on the block mining simulation game. And if there's any audio issues, let me know. I changed a few settings on the preamp. Chris Artis. Hey Robert, hope you're keeping well. Yep, pretty good today. It was the last week the weather was super nice, so my mood was up quite a bit. But today it's kind of a glum. The weather dropped like I think 20 degrees or something. So I got a bit of a headache today. So that's why I thought it makes sense just to do a chill coding stream. Yeah. Yamabushi. Nate says B. Let's see. It's been a lot brighter here in UK last week too. Yeah, it was. It's really nice. Honestly, it's I think we're quite fortunate because it's only March. It's only March, and we actually have a bit of an early taste of spring. So that'll carry us forward a bit and just gets us that much closer to the nice weather. Weather's here is so brutal. Although I guess in I'm not sure what weather's like in the UK, but I know it's like cloudy all the time. So my goal for this stream will not be to be particularly productive, but I'll just let's see. When I did the 12-hour stream, I kind of really felt like I was getting into the groove with actually coding and streaming. Streaming, I'm very much not a multitasker, but I really felt like after 6 hours of that, going back and forth between the code and the screen, I was really getting into it. But I think it's something I'd have to do every day to really get productive at it. So I think today there was something I was thinking about doing to make it so we can automatically detect So I had the like restricted graphics mode, so it only uses ASCII characters. If you go into if you specify a flag for it, and that was for if you're like running it on the console or something. So I'll maybe look into see if I can just make that automatic. That's, I think, a pretty simple, achievable goal. And it might make something so that'll rely on checking the term variable. So maybe I'll write some code to pull in the set of environment variables. I think I'll maybe rename this. Black Hole Sun says, what are you working on today? Today I'm just going to do some relaxing coding on the block mining simulation game. I'm going to try to add I'm going to try to make it a bit more robust, so it'll look at the terminal, what type of terminal it is, and then it'll kind of automatically give you some automatically give you the best character set. So in like in the pure console or TTY, it can't display emoji characters. So this will just I'll set it up. It won't be super robust, but I'll probably make it. What I'll probably do is I'm going to rename this restricted graphics to -- ASCII graphics. Then I'll probably add another flag for, so you can explicitly request emoji graphics. So there'll be like a baked in default. So it'll try and guess which one. And if it guesses wrong, you can explicitly specify one or the other. So I guess this thing actually gets updates, even though down here it said it didn't. Because I changed that on the disk, and it's updated here. Someone says, "Hey man, how's it going? Tonight we're just doing some chill work on the block mining simulation game." Oh yeah, what I was gonna do. I love chill coding streams. I reinstalled Ubuntu today. I removed my Windows partition that I never really use. So just setting up it all back up now. Make sure you gotta make sure you back everything up though, just in case you ever there's some other file on that partition you forgot about or something. Okay, so that didn't break anything. All the backups sorted. Would like a NAS at some point. Yeah, I've got I have a few videos on I have a couple videos on ZFS. I'd like to do more videos on ZFS, but I'm a fan of it. Let's see, what am I gonna do now? LVM plus NAS, it's the best. Honorable Bunny says, "Hey Rob, how's it going?" Let me think. What am I going to work on now? ZFS is pretty cool. ZFS is a RAM hog though. I've run. I have a video where I can ZFS run on a Raspberry Pi 3, and you can run. You can install Ubuntu and you can run ZFS and do scrubs and everything on a Raspberry Pi 3. I eventually upgraded my setup to use a Raspberry Pi 4, but it's I find it impressive that that works at all. Did you have a good week? Yeah, I got a little bit more progress. It took me forever to get this script finished for the next video, but that's done. So now it's a bit more straightforward. I opted into ZFS on this install, knowing it was good, not really looking into it. This explains the R pool and B pool partitions. Actually, I don't know anything about R pool and B pool. Personally, like I've never run ZFS as my primary partition. I still run like ext4 as like the actual boot partition, but I know it is possible to run ZFS as the boot partition, although I think that's still like, experimental or something. I hear my neighbor coughing over there. I hope there's not some disease going around. If you had a Pi cluster, what would you use it for? If I had one, I don't know. I've got too many. I mean, technically, like I already have like 8 Raspberry Pis kicking around. It's easy to think of projects, but then, and of course, when you do, historically, I've pursued a lot of grandiose and interesting projects, but then the question is like, after you build the cluster, what do you do with it? How do you make money out of it, or get to the next level? Or there's no shortage of cool things you can do with technology, but at some point you got to make money. Still use the XD to this date, solid and reliable. PRTFS is pretty good as well. Yeah, I've heard of that as well. I did some research into whether I should use ButterFS or ZFS, and the whole reason I was using ZFS was for backups. So I decided that in basically all the talks that I watch, pretty much everyone said that ZFS, everything they talked about, like all the speakers who were talking about ZFS were talking about the safety and data integrity, and that was like the focus. And in the talks I watched about ButterFS, most of them they didn't talk much about redundancy and fail-safe, keeping the data safe and stuff. They mostly talked about they're like, oh, it's more efficient and stuff. And I was like, I don't really care about efficiency. I just wanted to actually store the data and not lose everything. Kubernetes crypto mining with Raspberry Pi? I guess you could, but at that point, unless you have a free source of electricity, it's probably not worth it. I use Proton Drive for backups. Don't really care about my file system. It only matters if you're serious about backups or NASes. Yeah, I guess for my actual data backup, it's just what it says. The only purpose I have it is for a backup of the data. So I think that was my phone. Again, I had my phone against cable. Many things important. I think having a side hustle is essential in case something changes in industry. Yeah, as a tech person, I guess, especially when you're younger and going through university and stuff, you always think like, we could build this cool project, and then it becomes like your PhD thesis or something, and you're like, like maybe we could turn this into a business idea. But that was also kind of one of the big issues with consulting is there's lots of people who want to work on technology and build technology, but there's not a lot of it's not so much that the technology is not useful, it's just that the rest of the world has not caught up. Like if you just walk to a random, like, person down the street and ask them about, like, hey, what do you think about this, like, innovative Raspberry Pi cluster with mesh networking and all this kind of stuff, they're like, I have no use for this. Just plug in raspberries to a public library. I guess it's a pretty it's a lot of work to grift a little bit of electricity. It's really interesting with ZFS. I should have looked much more before opting in, but it seems pretty good. Yeah, actually, I have thought a bit more about, like, maybe I should. I've used ZFS enough, and it's worked well enough for other stuff that it almost would make sense to run as like maybe my primary like daily driver, file system. But at that point, I don't really know what the advantage of ZFS on your primary would be, unless you actually have like multiple hard drives, because the main value proposition with ZFS, what it does for you is you can spread the data. You can have multiple copies of the data on a couple of different hard drives, and I could see that being really for the extra cost of like an extra $100 for a hard drive. If you can put 2 of them in there, and if your computer's fast enough, then you will never suffer data loss from a hard drive failure, as long as both don't die at once. Do you think majoring in CSS is a bad idea? I've been programming since I was 9 or 10. Yeah, this question comes up more and more these days, and I mean, I feel it's hard to give a good answer. I probably should make a dedicated video on the topic. I would say if you're like you sound like you're really passionate about programming, so you've been programming since 9 or 10. I think it probably still makes sense. Like if you're in the high school, if you're like one of the people in the class who's the most interested in programming, then it probably still is a pretty good career path. I think the people who are going in with the dream of like the luxurious Google tech job, some of that may be changing, or it'll at least be like more competitive. It probably still exists, but there's way more people competing for that job. You're probably also going to be like as long as your expectations are not just like you're planning to use ChatGPT to write all your code, but if you're like really interested in getting into the weeds, then I think like every industry is just getting competitive. Because I guess the other question is like, what if you didn't do that? What else would you do? I guess you could go into trades and stuff, but then the trades is also kind of a big trap. And I think right now we're in a recession. Eventually that'll come back. Yeah, and then it also depends what country you're into, because I think the job prospects, like the money prospects, if you're in Europe, are very different from if you're over in the US or in Canada. We put it behind PC so nobody would notice. Okay, with your Raspberry Pi grift. So do you cook or order in food? I go to a local. There's a local, like, I don't know, cafe, or kind of like it's like a supermarket thing down on the main street. I just go there every couple of days, and they have like pre-made meals, and it's basically the same price as if I just made it myself. Like a RAID config for ZFS? Yes, basically, I forget all the RAID numbers and stuff, but basically you can just, have it, I think probably for a main laptop, it would make sense to just have 2 hard drives that are identical, and then just have it mirror the data. Funny enough, I have 2 SSDs. I use one as primary, the other for backups. If you have so if you're already using ZFS as your primary boot partition, then you probably could just stick the other one in there and then run a ZFS command to mirror it. Now, be careful with that, because I have no experience with that, and this information comes with no warranty, and that might be that stuff like that might be where the experimental thing, you might hit some bugs, because if it's a boot partition, that's different from if you're just storing data on it, because I don't know, I'm sure there's a whole bunch, the code paths are very different, I'm sure. Hi Robert, are you using Ubuntu virtual machine within Windows? Nope, this is Ubuntu just installed on the laptop. My question: does AI will replace programmers? That's a good question. I think you can just take what's already happened and then extrapolate, just say like a more intense version of that. So we already have like AI that can replace like some of the simplest coding tasks, but it means that the things that AI can't do, it's becoming like the bar is getting higher. So you have to be a much better programmer in order to be competitive now, and to be able to find the bugs that AI is able to produce more and more sophisticated bugs now. So the bar is just getting higher and higher. CS is being used a lot in games. Yeah, it's career advice is difficult. I wish I knew exactly what to advise people to go into to get rich. I mean, like the luxurious Google jobs, that still exists, but it's more competitive, and I don't know. Really, I have to give you advice for like how the economy is going to be in like 5 years, because if you're studying now, that's probably where when you'll be getting out and you'll actually be dealing with this reality. Hopefully housing prices will go down when I finish college. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think more than likely what actually has been happening, at least here in Canada, is the housing prices go up or stay the same, but the value of the dollar gets deflated. So technically they are going down if you denominate it in terms of like bars of gold or something. But in terms of paid wages, it's still getting more expensive. Trump's artificial recession. I don't know. There's a lot of lots of speculations that could be made about what'll happen with the U.S. economy. Some people say the tariff things it's gonna implode. It's gonna be a disaster, and then other people, it's gonna fix everything. And I don't have the brain power for that now. Do you think C++ will be used for the next decade? That is the main language I code in. For sure, it's still going to exist. Like there's massive code bases out there in C++ today, and so like and the question is like even if tomorrow the U.S. government like made C++ illegal, there's all these code bases out there that are still in C++. So that might even create a massive surge of work to migrate all those old legacy C++ onto the next new thing. C++ it's also very compatible with C, and C is basically C will always exist for like constrained embedded devices, because in my opinion, Rust does not really compete in that domain. Federal debt is crazy. So much waste. Roads are terrible. Yeah, the amount of waste in government is something else, but evictions still sad. It's a fact of life at this point, I guess. Didn't DICE release a video with an AI game dev thing? Seen them putting in prompts and can generate their world, weapons, and win criteria. Yeah, I have. Of course, there are. There's I guess a cohort of people who are like experimenting, pushing the boundaries of what you can do. I think that I misread that at first when people were calling it vibe coding. I thought it was just meant like coding with a good vibe, but I guess it's like you just sit and tell a prompt to make something, but the quality of the code is like, it's just absolutely like horrible quality code, and it'll be filled with like weird bugs and corner cases that the AI can't figure out. And the code is like, it'll always like get it into a corner where it's not a simple fix. So I don't know if it's I mean, it's certainly really interesting because it's close enough to like an actual useful solution that in some cases it might actually make the cut, but at the moment it doesn't really seem like something that's competing with like mainstream software developer stuff, because in a lot of cases, if you come in to fix a project like that, if you come in to fix a coding nightmare that's written by either a bad programmer or a large language model, the first step might be to just like rewrite it from scratch, or like spend massive amounts of time learning what the person was thinking when they were trying to write what they were writing. But with an LLM, it's also just probabilistic, so there's no intentions behind it. It's just like making gibberish that makes no sense. It's maybe even like it would be harder to figure out bad code written by an LLM than it would be a bad programmer, I think. Thanks for sharing your Saturday nights with us. It's like hanging out with a friend. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what streaming is, I guess. You go on the internet, and it's like a friendship simulator, which is not. I'm not sure how healthy that is, because it's so like one directional, because of course I'm just reading. I'm just like squinting my eyes reading a chat, and I don't know how many people are bots. So stupid that here they say Rust will replace C and C++. I think there's I think in a lot of like the people who say that Rust will replace C and C++ are like web developers who imagine what embedded systems programming is like, but they don't actually do embedded systems programming. I mean, theoretically you could like do all of your embedded programming in Rust in like an unsafe block, but then that's the primary feature of Rust. So I actually don't know any Rust. I've never coded Rust before, but of course it keeps coming up in discussions. Don't understand Rust either. I feel like something I should learn. Feel comfortable with C though. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, although right now, I don't know. I think a lot of the funding for Rust, it was funded a lot by Mozilla, I think, but then they ran out of money, and I think they let off a bunch of the people who were working on it. And I think the language itself seems kind of overly complicated, and it's a bit in flux still. I think you were on the verge of being viral. Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm coming down from being viral almost. My how to become a 37-year-old broke loser video that really blew up. And my traffic has been trending down, and that's mainly because I haven't released any new videos. But I'm working on a new one, and hopefully that'll be out soon, and that'll give me another bump. That's what makes AI coding so difficult. There's no way to understand. It's code half the time. Yeah, it's AI is advancing pretty quickly though. So I don't know. There's a lot of like crazy exciting things going on in the world at the moment. I think it's quite possible that AI, like it seems to be advancing quite a bit. I think it may actually become data limited next. Like it seems like we're throwing so much money at the compute capacity now that like in order for it to be super intelligent, like to like for example to reason about like if you say like cure cancer or something, then it would have to have like really in-depth knowledge of like organic chemistry and how molecules work and stuff like that. And I think in a lot of cases, like some of that actual real world experimental evidence about like how molecules bond and some Lewis structure works, that knowledge might not actually be on the internet yet, and we might just need the actual critical thing because it can't actually conduct the experiments. And we got a new channel member. Welcome Sobek to the student tier. That's nice. We have tonight we have no goals, just to have a chill coding stream, and we're still getting some new members. Does make sense since studying an engineer. I'm not sure. Are you asking does it make sense to study engineering? Pablo Fabrizio. Every time the power goes out, the power company always happens to reconnect it. About the time I get everything on his generator. Nice. Watching from Timmy's. Nice, like a true Canadian. Alan is a bot, I guess. He just gave himself away. I'm not a bot, bro. That's good. I got at least one real human. I ain't gonna get any HUs going into CS. I ain't gonna get any HUs. You mean like a husband? I don't know what HUs stands for in this context. I mean, a Python script which uses llama, takes the code and provides, and then asks a new prompt to critique it and redo it, checks for bugs. It's brain rot. Okay, HUZZ. I've never seen that word used. Does it? It just means nothing. Huz means woman in today's slang. Oh, okay. Is it I'm trying to think, what would that be an abbreviation for? Like if someone just said huz in a conversation, I assume it's like an abbreviation for husband or something. An insult? Yeah, Riz. I'm familiar with Riz, but I'll have to look it up on Urban Dictionary. I made a Python script which uses llama, takes code, and then provides ask a new prompt to critique it, then redo it. Checks for bugs, sometimes loops 20 times, but it works. Okay. Yeah, stuff like that is like it's getting to the point where like especially if you're okay with just like looping stuff and like just outsourcing ChatGPT to ChatGPT over and over again and just like throwing stuff at the wall to get stuff to work. I think that's kind of where we're actually going to get our runaway general AI. Do more educational videos, I think could pop off. Yeah, I'd like to. It's I have too many video ideas, but I have one I'm working on. It's like halfway done, so I'm gonna try to finish that up and get it pushed out there. Hi there. Sorry for not attending recent streams. I forgive you. They're all archived, so you can go back and see if you missed anything. Feels like companies, organizations, and governments are extracting value instead of creating nowadays. Yeah, that really, I mean, in a way, like financialization, that's kind of what financialization companies do. They basically just come in, they figure out like clever ways to extract money from things. And in a lot of ways, in a lot of cases, that is like, it's almost meant to be a value destroying process, where they basically just buy up companies and squeeze as much money out of them until the company's done for. Why, Robert, have to pack the generator back way now. All right. Hopefully the power doesn't go out again. Too old for all the hibbity dibbity. Yeah, language is changing fast, and the other thing is about like all the like AI censorship and stuff. Like censorship is getting crazier, and as AI gets better at finding like censoring stuff, we're gonna have to like communicate in a more coded way, and so then the AI will have to get better, and that's just gonna make the AI is gonna like inadvertently like drive people crazier, because we'll have to like avoid certain catchphrases, certain keywords over and over again, or even like things that sound like that word. So we'll just like instinctively start avoiding completely normal speech, and then that'll make the AI even more aggressive. So it'll be this like feedback loop. And I don't know what more to say on that. I think it's just, it'll be an interesting thing we'll see play out, because even in my stuff, like I've been banned. I got my Facebook account banned for I posted when they came out with Facebook Shop, and I had on my store you could buy like regular expression stickers, and so I was like, oh, I'll just he kept spamming me saying like, hey, set up your Facebook Shop. So I'm like, okay, I'll just try this, see if it works, like if it just gets sales out of nowhere. And so I create one shop item, which is a regular expression stickers, and as soon as I created it, I was like, we think this item is not fit for Facebook, and then my account gets banned and stuff, and they're like, this image is inappropriate, and ended up being a ton of work. I've been banned a couple times on Facebook for they had a policy of like no text in images or something, which was difficult, because at that point every image I posted had text in it, because it was like screenshots of Linux commands and stuff. Just got here. What are we talking about? Right now I'm talking about AI, censorship and stuff. I guess I was coding, but then I got distracted by the chat. Without Robert, been a while. Not too much. Just working away on. I was gonna just do a chill coding stream tonight. There's not a lot of updates. I guess for most of my updates on my live streams, in case you guys haven't seen, I usually the first few minutes of the live stream I'll just do my like weekly update. So if you only want the updates, you don't really care about anything else, you can usually get my status update in the first few minutes. Make sure it's like Zach D Films. I guess I can't quite recall that. That sounds familiar. I can't remember off the top of my head what that author does. Hey man, I'm so glad you're live. I just found your channel. Thanks. I guess you probably came from I don't know, maybe the magnetic core memory or the how to make a CPU video. Those are my two top videos. You need an ATS auto start signal to your gen. Look at Soco ATYS Rage compatible with most electric start generators. Oh, okay. Oh, and never mind. That's at Bradley for the okay. I related to the generator. Haven't had Facebook since the vid got too weird. Yeah, I deleted my Facebook back in 2014 or so, and I had I made a business one because it made sense to just be on all the social medias, and I think I must have got shadow banned or something because none of my stuff ever. I mean, it's kind of amazing. I post stuff on Facebook, or I post stuff on YouTube, and it gets like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of views. But on Facebook, everything just gets like, 6 views. Do you think AI is our will inbreeding? Do you think that would kill AI? I don't. I mean, it'll just like learn what the data. It'll just. I think eventually, most AIs will just converge to be like one another. So, I mean, you can even if you have a sufficiently like good AI, you can just you could train an AI like ChatGPT with another ChatGPT if you could outsource it. So I think very likely, and you might even be able to like fine tune them. So like, China's AI model, they could just do like, 100,000 very specific calls to the ChatGPT AI and say like, answer yes or no if this thing is true. And then you send that into ChatGPT. And so based on what it says yes or no, you can use that as labels to label training data for another AI. And so I imagine they are doing this, but technically, you can like steal all the data that was used to train the AI by just asking thousands of very specific questions. Is there a way to contact you via email? I was going to try and reach out to you and through Patreon. I think there's Patreon as a message feature. I think I often miss them because it doesn't notify me. But if you go to my website, my robertelder.org, there's an email contact on there. You should check out Quizzkit. I haven't. Oh, quantum circuits. This I have too much on my plate. Quantum stuff is pretty interesting. I try to keep on touch of it in a very hands-off way. Just watch clips and stuff to keep informed. Facebook is weird. Dead internet seems real. Yeah, I haven't actually like consumed any content on Facebook in like a decade, so I have no idea. But I've seen some like YouTube videos about like what AI is like now with all the AI slop, and supposedly it's pretty bad. Facebook is weird. Most social media is weird. We need a terminal-based social media site. Yeah, I think that would do well. I think my guess is maybe that was a typo when we put VID. Maybe it meant vibe. Oh, the other vid. That's an example of we can't say that word, otherwise the AI will come here and censor us. So we have to speak in a coded line, and now nobody understands what we're talking about. So we all get confused, and it makes everyone more paranoid. Drives everyone totally nuts. That's going to be the future. We'll say stuff and be like, oh no, it's the AI watching us. Is there a drone flying outside my window? Just ate in base 64 and decode it. Yeah, that's what we'll have to do. Do you think Web3 social media will be a thing? Isn't that like crypto social media? Probably not. I mean, I don't use any cryptocurrency for anything. I mean, when people first started talking about cryptocurrency, the whole thing was like microtransactions, and then that went away. And like nowadays, I don't really know of anyone who actually buys anything with crypto. It just seems like it's only for scamming people and rug pulls. Are you familiar with the concept that some knowledge may be harmful to know? Thought hazards? Harmful according to whom? I wouldn't doubt that there's lots of people out there who'd like to prevent others from learning certain knowledge. I mean, in order to make that determination, you have to like learn the knowledge and then think about it yourself. So I think it's would not at all. I'm sure there's. I mean, in our own government, I'm sure they're constantly like, we don't want the public to know this and that, and it's better just to keep that a secret. Designing new quantum processor right now. Hopefully it's good and powerful. Wish we could have more contributors to the project though. Yeah, quantum computing is interesting, although it's I mean, that whole field is full of also a lot of fraud and stuff. But I think eventually, in my opinion, quantum computing, the field would probably be better. Like, I think really the difficult thing is quantum manufacturing, which is really pretty similar to like existing, if you want to make a chip, you have to use like photolithography and do like advanced nanofabrication techniques and stuff. And I think eventually, once we actually get quantum computing, it will. The really interesting thing will be it'll unlock like physics experiments at a very small scale. So you'll be able to like design a very specific crystal lattice with every atom that's a night's move away is like some doped, it's like a potassium or something instead of silicon. And I think from that we'll develop like really, like we already right now we could do physics predictions about, what the resistance of a crystal lattice like that might be. And I think once we actually get quantum computing and the ability to do like precise manufacturing of like really specific chips, put an atom right in a given place. I think that once we do that, that'll probably make us realize like some of our physics knowledge is not perfect. Like there'll be weird things about like spin anomalies and stuff, and weird virtual electrons and photons and stuff, where you have like grain boundaries and semiconductors and stuff. And basically, like if you want to look up the Wikipedia page, would be like condensed matter physics. If you just look all the kinds of the niche things that exist within condensed matter physics, where there's probably like a lot of new knowledge hiding there that we haven't done before, just because we can't build precisely atomic scale things. Are you familiar with what project are you working on? I'm currently working on the block mining simulation game. I was going to do some coding on it, and then I got distracted by responding to chat. The idea is a decentralized social media platform. Okay, I thought Web3. Maybe I got that wrong. I thought Web3 was more of a like crypto-enabled thing or something. Yeah, I think it probably will. I mean, I don't know if it'll be like necessarily decentralized, but we may have a more partitioned internet in the future. Actually pretty simple. Might finish in a couple months. Oh, that's good. Rocco's Basilisk. Yeah, I've heard of that thought experiment before. Do you think I should do lead code problems or focus on personal projects? That's a good question. Personally, I came along after lead code. I know everyone does lead code, and it's like a big thing that people talk about. But personally, I don't really know. I can't really say one way or another if it is worth it. Yeah, I mean, I think the people that get like really, really good at lead code, they're almost like the people who do like competitive math competitions and stuff. Like it's a good measure. It means it's going to mean you're quite smart. I would say it depends on what kind of jobs you want to apply for. I would say in the future, do you plan to be more of like an entrepreneurial person, and maybe like would you have ambitions of running your own business one day, or are you someone who's like, are you very comfortable being like a cog in a giant corporate machine? Because maybe if you're like the type of person who I'd say like, who would come and tell me and say they mastered lead code and they scored a top score on all the problems, I would kind of expect that person more to be like a high performance person in a corporate environment, but someone who does, I want to run a business, but I know stuff. I would say then personal projects, because if you master lead code, like the kind of people, like we didn't have lead code back in the day, but I remember people who did like math competitions and stuff. They were more like, they were very obedient. They were like machines. They were waiting for instructions. You could be like, okay, now code this, code this enterprise scale database backup thing, and they'd be like, yes, your wish is my command. And they'd think the optimal way to do it, and they'd code it, and it'd be perfect, and they could pump it out really fast. But if you kind of ask them to do something else, like I'd say if you want to run a business, and of course there's also lots of questions of that, like do you want to co-found or run it yourself? If you're running your own business, probably like as a software developer, probably one of the best things you could do is focus. Well, of course you have to get some expertise first, but the sales and marketing stuff is like going to be a massive blind spot for you. So if you go to school for like engineering or computer science, when you come out, that's an enormously valuable skill, because you can actually build a product, and you can automate stuff for your business and whatnot. But I think the really big missing thing is not going to be lead code. It's going to be talking to people and the networking and just getting a big net, just having, say, 1,000 people on LinkedIn who you've met in person and had a positive interaction with. That's going to take you very far in business, much more so than lead code. Because that way you can post stuff and say, hey, I have this product, or I need, I'm trying to get sales for this or that, and that's going to be the thing to start your business, not necessarily the lead code stuff. Yay, coding stream. Yeah, I guess I haven't done that much coding. I renamed some variables. That's about it tonight. I'm in sales right now. Went to school for engineering. Interesting. So yeah, I guess you applied for it and got a sales position in the company. Honestly, that's probably not if you're interested in business, that's probably not a bad way to go, because that way you get actual experience doing sales, and you have the kind of you're a foot in both worlds. And also, salespeople get, in some cases, they make way more money than the engineers. I actually heard someone say the other day, you should make the most intelligent AI in the universe or something, when I mentioned the basic processor outline. So that's the goal as of now. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good goal, to make the most intelligent AI in the universe or something. Instead of doing a lead code, might be better to study an advanced algorithms book, of course, along with the backward math. Yeah, there's so much stuff to learn. I guess if you're going to school for CS, I would assume you probably will learn some algorithm stuff anyway. So that might be enough to carry you through. I mean, it's hard to optimize your life, because you're, you could spend a lot of time on certain lead code problems, and then they may not actually lead to anything for you. You may never see that problem again, or, of course you could say oh, you're getting good, you're improving your problem solving skills and stuff, and that's true. But you could also read some books, and then that would make you better at reading. You could go fishing. That would make you better at fishing. There's an infinite number of things you can waste your time on, but it's all about wasting your time on the right things that are going to lead to something. Canadian election supposed to be called tomorrow. Yeah, I've heard the same. I'm not following all that too closely. I kind of just I don't really care too much anymore. Whatever happens, and hopefully re-elect Justin Trudeau. Yeah, who knows? Maybe some technicality will happen. We'll end up with Justin Trudeau again. Another 10 years, Justin Trudeau. Supposedly the program says calculated clock speed would be 1.3 million terahertz. That's pretty good and fast. Now I did this in the last, someone told me how to do this in the last stream. I gotta go through this again to remember how I did it. It was configuring. See, I completely forgot where or how. Oh, this might be edit configurations. Plus. Might have been application. Oh, that's because the working directory was wrong. Robert, would you ever join a startup or for equity granted if it was a good idea and you could trust your partner or follow through on their end? Theoretically, but the way you've set that question up, it's almost like it's like an impossible thing to filter for. It's like it's almost like would you buy a lottery ticket if you knew it was a winning lottery ticket that would make $1 million? The answer is yes, but setting that up to know that with confidence is like almost impossible. Robert, have you done any bug bounty? What are your thoughts on the future of software security? I've not. I've thought about it. Some people have said that it can be lucrative. Having said that, I have a tendency to like dig down into things and get I think if I invested time in it, I'd have to invest like a lot, and I'd probably have to like specialize in a certain software stack. And on the future of software security, some people have said like their complaint is that a lot of the knowledge you learn is like kind of useless. So like you may do bug bounty on one specific thing, but you're not really building. You're like learning the tools and software of that thing very, very well, and what you're learning doesn't necessarily generalize very much. So it's kind of I guess if I made a career at like building tooling for bug bounty finding, or like using AI or something for it, that would actually be an interesting thing, using AI to help to AI-assisted bug bounties. It's actually supposed to be infinitely scalable, next like a hive mind. That's quite impressive. Regulatory hellhole would be amusing to defeat. Yeah, I'm not sure what statement that's in relation to, but let's see. This is not the right working directory. Oh, that's wrong, obviously. Are you going to add minions and enemies to your game? Eventually. At the moment, I just want to get the kind of world working. You just need to find one CVE, 10 remote code execution on Windows, Apple, Android, and be set up for life. I try, but just buy a lottery ticket instead. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of those, like to get those kind of ones, you usually have to, like if I was already a Windows kernel developer and I had I don't know anything about Windows stack at the moment. So there would be so much, I'm kind of at such a disadvantage. It would make sense to only focus on the things that I have already used. Like maybe, something in the core utils commands or something, some obscure flag that no one ever thinks about. And I think I did actually find some bugs in core utils when I was going through them. I think I was shadow censored. Yeah, I think I have top chat on. I'm kind of lazy to change it. Sometimes it does filter things that I think should be censored, but then other times like if you make a meta comment about like, I think there's a conspiracy about this, if you just use the word conspiracy, it'll usually That'll be one of the things that gets shadow banned. I love censoring. Yeah, I'm also, I guess I'm also should be maybe more concerned. I have the streams monetized, and someone was saying that you probably shouldn't monetize streams because like you have to like declare that there's nothing in the stream that's bad, but I don't know what's like. Someone can spam something bad in the chat, and then that might like demonetize everything. Yeah, like it just makes it less monetizable. So I got ads. Yeah, there is. I guess I really don't. I get almost nothing from the stream ads. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just turn them off because probably the ads probably are kind of intrusive. And I think at this point I make way more from, like, for a several hour stream I'll make like $3 in ads, but I'll get like one $10 thing. So yeah, I probably should just disable the ads entirely for streams. Let's see. Have you ever played DF or CDDA? I'm not familiar with either of those. I think there was a conspiracy to shadow ban a non-dude. Maybe. I get an ad every time you start to reply to my comment. Oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe I should, because the ads are like coming onto a stream and getting an ad is pretty annoying. Yeah, I guess it probably even hurts the viewership too, and the payoff is almost nothing. I guess the advantage is if I get if one VOD just kind of picks up in the background and it's not monetized, then I think there's room in the market for a solid AI moderation service API for games, social media, and other chats to use. Yeah, probably. The competition in cybersecurity makes the prospect of a career not possible. Yeah, I think it would also be like, I'm sure the AI is going to get good enough so that like the low-hanging fruit, the easy problems, there'll be no way to like, there'll be no path to entry. You'll either have to be like more sophisticated than the most advanced AI to make like even $1. We'll give you some money, but I don't have a bank account yet. That's okay. If I think the donations and stuff, only makes sense for any of my viewers who are the rich Silicon Valley people. Anyone who's starting out, I think they can just hang around for free. Oh, a Dwarf Fortress. Yeah, I've watched some documentaries and stuff on that game. Like, I know about it. Yeah, I find it fascinating, mainly for like why people, what about the game makes people interested in it. CDDA, Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead. Okay. Keep them, dude. Get your money. Yeah, the issue with ads though is to put ads, I have to declare that the stream is like appropriate for advertisers or whatever. But if like something happens or something is said that flags it, that can kill the monetization for the whole channel, I think. And the risk reward is potentially not there for like to make $1 in a stream, whereas like one good video, like that 1 hour video I posted, well, that made like almost $10,000. So the when most of the videos comes from the scripted content, it makes more sense to keep my monetization reputation. Would love to hear make some names for the processor AI that runs on. If anyone has an idea, I don't know. I mean, if it's your creation, you should have the honor of naming it. Most people I know who market AI are targeting older people, are technologically inept. They will set up a website in 10 minutes to pitch marketing AI from open source, completely free. Whoa, that's chance. No more ads. No more ads. I won't become a member because that puts me on a list. I'll support you, buddy. Oh, thank you very much. That's very, very generous of you. You didn't have to do that. Well, I didn't was not anticipating getting anything from the stream, but I'll let's see. I won't bother turning it off on the stream, but I'll make a note to turn off ads for future streams, because I think it's not the risk reward is not there. But and you just proved that. I think even just things like the memberships, like getting a dollar a month membership, the odd even before this, there's one new channel member. And that one new channel member at $1 a month will probably make more than the ads from this. Let's see, my configuration still doesn't work. And if you're wondering why it says 73, I think it's probably in US dollars. I think it quotes. Let's see, so this is broken because what kind of game are you making? It's going to be a terminal-based block mining simulation game. So it's mainly meant to run in the terminal. Wonder if it would act like a benchmark for mining in a way. It depends what you mean. Like so the idea in the game is you just spam the M key to like simulate mining like in an actual like mining iron ore and stuff. But do you mean like a different type of mining? Like I've thought about if I could add a lot more sophisticated stuff to it to make it much more to add like the game Minecraft isn't actually a pretty great representation of mining in the real world, so it would make sense to it would make sense that I think it would be fun to have at least one mining simulation game that actually was a really, really good representation of mining. So you could do like rare earth mining and like copper mining, and you could experiment with all the different mining ore extraction and concentration techniques and stuff. Man is my favorite Linux command. What happened to those videos, my man? You mean the videos on the man page? I think those videos should still be there. I think. I would like to make more of them, but I am working on one video now. I just finished the script for it. I'm probably going to be filming all this week. But so there's more stuff in the pipeline, but it just takes time to get the content out. Blockchain mining is what I thought you were getting at. No, it's yeah. I don't know if you've actually seen the game, but so let's play it. Yeah. So the idea is. Am I witnessing the creation of live action Minecraft? This is like a terminal-based analog of Minecraft in a way. So yeah, so this is the actual game. So you go around, you just spam the M key, and so it's kind of the minimum game loop that you can have, right? So you just wander around, press M key, mine blocks. Blocks show up in inventory. And then I can go up here to an ore vein. And there you go. And I think in a more advanced version, you could like you could mine like ore concentrates, and then you could concentrate the ores, and then you could smelt them, and you could have a foundry, and I think that would be a decent basis for it. But at the moment, I'm kind of just the things I'm actually doing in the game. Let me just quit that. So the thing I was going to work on tonight was to work on the restricted view. So yeah, so there's the game in the normal mode. And then if I do ASCII graphics, so this gives you a much more restricted version of the graphics. So you can run it in like a pure console environment. Please examine how SMAUG game Dark Legacy handles mining. It's a Telnet game. I think yours is more realistic as far as minerals. I mean, right now, I would say it's kind of not realistic. It's not super developed. Honestly, I've not had much time to even work on it since like November. It basically is the same game as then. And I was like, oh, I'll just work on it on stream. But I'm pretty slow. Progress is pretty slow going back and forth with chat. Although I guess if I wasn't making more videos, then I could technically stream every day, and then I could just I guess trying to develop stuff and talk to chat is very distracting and very slow. But it is kind of, if I did that every day, I probably would get quite a bit of work done. and it'd be way faster because I'd be, my mind would be into it. But anyway, what I was trying to show here was this is the feature I'm working on today. So you just add a flag, and that way you can get like the very restricted mode of graphics, because these characters, like if I go back to this, these characters don't render properly in terminal in a pure console environment. Let's see, I missed a bunch of chats. I thought you had a ton of blanks. My favorite command videos. Did I mention that? Couldn't find. They're probably in the shorts tab, I think. Yeah, those are all my favorite Linux command videos. How does saving progress work? It's automatic, so it talks to a. So you actually can specify a world file. So block world file is so it can use SQLite, and I've also made it so you can connect to a Postgres database, and the database is just literally a simple tuple of like X, Y, and Z, and then the actual block data at that location. So it's not super. It's unlikely to be fast, but I've tried to focus on making the representation as simple as possible. Do you remember this game from the 90s? Sim Ant gives me similar vibes. Never played that one. Hey man, so fun to see that your video blew up. Great watch. I gave it big thumbs. I assume you mean the 37-year-old broke loser one. I have a couple of videos that blew up. It's interesting. A lot of my videos only get like a few thousand views. My How to Make a CPU one that has I think like 10 million now at this point. It was top down. You controlled one ant in a colony. Interesting. Yeah, I've never played that game. Let's see. So if I do this, let's see. Let's try one thing so I get ahead. Yeah, target. I think this is what I was trying to do. PWD LS. Oh no, maybe this is what I want, I think. I need to probably clean. I think it's because I think I built it outside in the command line, and that and a different version of Java. So the JNI library wasn't working. Okay, now if I build that, does it work? Okay, still wrong. Okay, what did chat say? To use AI to assist your code. Currently, I have not used any AI in writing code. Joe Mama says, get a job. Good night. Don't call yourself a loser, though. You seem like a great guy. Greetings from Sweden. Thank you for the kind words. Have a good night. It's a great video, and you're not a loser. That's good to hear. I made a console game where an animal, asteroids, would find food. It was randomly distributed. It ran out of energy. Turns out 9 neurons can do it very fast, even with obstacles. Huh. Interesting. Why don't you get a job though? McDonald's would pay some bills. The whole goal has been to run a business, and I have not run out of money yet. So right now I'm actually seeing a bit more growth. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. It doesn't make sense to quit now. Passion work is better than wage slavery. Yeah, it's I mean, also like I had one of my previous jobs was teaching at the college, but I mean the issue there was a lot of the course material. Like when I got access to previous course shells, I'd find that a lot of the previous professors, they would just they would have like links to YouTube videos and links to like, oh, just go watch this online tutorial or something. And I mean, I think here on YouTube, the amount of time of the previous videos that I made that are like high quality, the amount of teaching that I do every single day, the amount of students that I teach of high quality work, I'm teaching more people in the world every day with the YouTube videos that are already out there than I would be if I just went back to the real job. And I mean, I think when you project that forward in the future, what's going to happen? Like, this is the more efficient way to teach things. I definitely think there's something missing. Like just watching YouTube videos is not the same. I think that's also kind of why streaming makes sense, because there seems to be a big gap in the world where people want, people still need that interaction, and that's kind of being streaming is kind of, I think, taking up that niche. But of course, the last thing that you don't get from just watching YouTube is you don't get accreditation. But then again, colleges and universities, the reputation is going down. So who knows what's going to happen with the future of that. Oh. Vibe coding seems fun until you need to do vibe debugging. Yeah. What's your project about? It is a terminal-based block mining simulation game. So let me go ahead and let me think here. I think I'm probably going to have to rebuild this. Maybe. Yeah, so this is the game. So you walk around mining blocks. Now the other thing I was going to show people is, let's do this. Okay, so right now I'm in a pure console environment, so it's got a restricted character set. So if I just run the game with that command, this is what it looks like. And it's not actually rendering a lot of the characters, because it can't render emoji characters in this context. So if I do, the thing I'm working on now is to add that flag. So now it's slightly better rendering. It's actually just give you the, what it does is just uses the first character of the class name. But at least you can kind of like see what's going on a little bit better. And the frame characters are not all messed up. Anyway, that was the goal for tonight, although I got pretty distracted with talking at the chat. So weird that trolls come here of all places. Ignore them. Yeah, I mean that's not too bad in terms of trolling. I mean, I don't know if I think some of them maybe just joking. There's some that are, I think, like kind of serious. I've clicked through a bunch of those profiles. I've noticed there's a trend that there's a bunch of people. There's a lot of people who are like seriously pursuing weightlifting. And those seem to be the ones that are like, you need to like man up and get a job and do this and that. I think I almost think that some of these people are saying this because they like that is the encouragement that they want. They think that I want them, to come and give me this tough love advice or something. Yeah, maybe even bots do. Terminal case of lazy. I've seen a terminal case of lazy. I'm thinking about naming the processor Super 8. Sounds like a good name. Do you need an intern? Right now I don't have any spare money to pay people, so but I think if the YouTube arc is successful, then it is possible. If there's enough cash flow to support it, then I probably would maybe hire an intern to work on it, add some features or something. I think the only thing missing is the assignments following the lecture. So to say of a stream, yeah, I guess you could, you could always make course material. You could make like online quizzes and stuff. So that could be a component. But I guess it still could kind of replace the whole college system. Notice that in university too, professors outsourcing to YouTube, but we can't use YouTube as citations for research projects. Yeah, honestly, to me it almost seems like old school academia, like academic journals and stuff, are not as prestigious as they used to be. And it almost seems like a lot of the more serious work is done on like Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that now. Even though that's like, it's like, formally speaking, it's like lower tier. But from my perspective, a lot of the higher quality work, like anything can be on YouTube. But like some of the people, who are really like being successful in academic contexts, it is actually a lot of like marketing. If you can't market your ideas, even if they're good, then it's kind of pointless. Do you like to use Terminator? I mean like the Terminator, the terminal in general, or there's also I think a terminal emulator called Terminator, which I used it like once for something. I'm 3/4 through CS degree right now. I can tell you that professors are absolutely horrible, kind of depressing. Yeah, it's I mean, it's been a while since I was there, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if it's like getting worse. Maybe COVID broke everyone's minds. Seems like a hard subject to teach. I learned most from the NSA leaked Python course and the free Harvard course. Interesting. I didn't know the NSA had a leaked Python course. Can you play the game for a little? Yeah, I could. Let's see here. Five says, "Hey Robert, how's it going?" I think I recognize that name. I think you're the one who is responsible for helping me reach my my goal on the 14-hour live stream. With the large number of gifted subs. At least where I go to school, the professors just seem to be more into the research versus teaching. Yeah, I was talking to someone who like works, in some of the administration, and they said like when they hire professors, it's absolutely not to teach. That's not the primary criteria. It's like research is the main thing that they want the professors to do, and teaching is just like as a burden. And some of them are just like it's beneath them. They probably bought Andrew Tate course in real life. Yeah, I think in interpreting some of the comments online, I get more and more of a vibe of that, like that. There's a lot of people online, like some of the comments are just kind of bizarre, and it almost seems like they're bots. But in a lot of the cases, I think it's actually people that have been like programmed into being like bots, and they've kind of it almost makes me think of like someone who doesn't have any like father figure in their lives, and they found like Gary V videos, and so they spend their entire day like watching like get motivated videos with like Gary Vaynerchuk about like you gotta hustle and you gotta wake up at 4 a.m. and chew glass, and they think that other people want that same kind of encouragement. And I mean, encouragement like that, it's kind of, you could understand how it's effective if it comes from someone who actually did like grind hard and work super hard. But if it just comes from like a basement dwelling person who watches like videos on how to get motivated all day, it kind of just becomes bizarre. Most educators who are of high quality probably work in large, well-paying corporations. Yeah, I think that probably is fairly true. I have met when I was teaching at the college, there's some professors there. It's kind of a bimodal distribution. I think there's some people there who I think are like that really care about teaching students, like the act of teaching and empowering students is their passion, and those professors are amazing, and they could make more money, working in industry. And then there's some professors who they're teaching because they can't get a better paying thing. And there's also, I think there's another subset too of professors that just like don't care. They're kind of checked out. Not leaked. It was a Freedom of Information. Interesting. A Freedom of Information Act request to get NSA code. Happy to help. That was a long endurance stream. Quality of CS professors in my program was a mixed bag. All of them were smart for sure. Some just weren't very good at teaching. Yeah, there's in university it was kind of we had a mixed bag. Some were kind of odd. Society is a version of the Iron Maiden experiment. Is a new version of the Iron Maiden experiment. Technology Maiden Society. I'm not familiar with the Iron Maiden experiment. Honestly, they need to get paid more. Teachers in general. Some are just in another dimension, quality-wise. Yeah. And I mean, when I was teaching too, the whole there's so many issues with the whole system. Personally, my opinion, I think the entire system is starting to break, and it's going to be replaced by something new. And I think it kind of looks like, arguably, that's why I'm kind of pivoting more towards what I'm doing here, because I think more when you think about young people spend all their time on their computers, and they go to lectures and then they go home and then they just Google stuff and read stuff on the internet and watch YouTube videos to learn stuff. And I mean, so back to what you were saying. From my experience teaching at the college, there's the full-time professors are paid the most. But what the college seems to be doing a lot, and I'm assuming probably universities do, they're always trying to water stuff down, and they always hire part-time faculty, because the part-time faculty are cheaper, and they turn out not in the unions and stuff like that. And then the people who do get into the unions, they're constantly fighting with the unions, so it's like a strike every few years, and they'll agree to give them stuff, and then they a couple of years later they take away whatever they promised. And so it's just the whole process is just so inefficient, and it just seems like it's going to be this perpetual battle where the colleges are constantly trying to pay teachers less, and it's just, I don't think it'll ever get fixed. I don't think there's a bunch of things that colleges and universities should do to survive, and I don't think they're going to do them. Techno Maiden Society, children being raised by the algorithms. Yeah, I mean, it's already here. iPad kids. There's a professor I love watching on YouTube called Dr. Mike Pound. Does a lot of computer science videos on the Computer File channel. Worth a watch. I've probably even seen some of those. What do you think of Udemy, Robert? A few people have suggested that. At the moment, I think it makes more sense. Yeah, I don't know, unless it's somehow. I probably won't do Udemy. I've heard that some people can make it pretty lucrative, but I think ultimately, if I can just keep the sales and marketing aspect, I think is the most important thing to get right. And I kind of wonder if I made a Udemy course, who would buy it? Because I have to get people onto the site, and then I'm basically marketing Udemy. And I also I like the idea of making the knowledge. If I make an educational video on something, I want to put it out there and have it to be accessible by lots of people. The fact that all those super poor people in Brazil and India who are trying to learn how to code, the fact that they can watch all my videos and don't have to pay anything. I downloaded a jar of yours the other day and enjoyed it. Any thoughts on adding controls for mining in certain direction via a radius? Yeah, I could do that. Right now, I think the game loop is like, it's the most simple game loop that I could implement. I would like to add like way more, actual interesting features. Honestly, I have not seriously worked on this game since November, and I've just been kind of putting a little bit of attention into it during the streams, but of course I'm not that productive on streams. So right now I'm just actually focusing mainly on getting a few things with the user interface fixed, and then once the user interface is a bit more less buggy and stuff, then I'll probably look at actually adding new content. There was a few like weird bugs that I fixed in the last few weeks. Let's see, I'm missing some chats. Appreciated because I also used to teach myself through online resources that are much better than my universities. Yeah, the whole the efficiency of education is it's an important topic, and I mean we're converging towards something, whether we like it or not. What's really sad is in American school, AP classes are way easier and tend to be divided along race and class, so the non-AP courses are shortchanged. Yeah, it's I mean the public school system, I think like after COVID, it kind of seems like people just like completely gave up. And I mean we have a convergence, honestly we have a convergence of so many issues. So it's like COVID that like broke everyone's mind, and then now we have AI. I haven't really even thought much about that, but that must necessarily have completely changed education now, because every student now is just going to cheat with ChatGPT. And from what I understand, like most teachers have just given up trying to police that. They're just like, we know you're using AI, so just like cite your sources or something. But like the fundamental model of education is kind of doesn't work anymore. So basically education has to be reinvented because of AI. And what was the other one? Yeah, and just like general funding issues, and all the so many other inefficiencies are just converging together to make education so much more different and difficult. System is breaking, just a matter of when. Yeah, I think it's breaking, but I think it also like there's new systems being created alongside it. So something is going to replace the education system. Education is now fully a business satisfying investors. I personally think their algorithm. Oh, that's a different comment. Yeah, especially in in colleges and stuff, it's all about the money. I personally think their algorithm has been raising kids since 2006. Now it's becoming increasingly popular. Yeah, I mean, I was online quite a bit around 2006. So yeah, I'm probably one of the first generations that's been partially programmed by the algorithm. Do you have a nuanced take on the future of AI's role in education? Not anything, I guess, more specific than what I already said. I don't know, it's going to have to mean a total reinvention of the way we do a lot of stuff. Scary about the algorithms instantaneously changing to fit combos you had not 30 seconds prior. Yeah, I have noticed it seems to pull people in more based on what topic is. Vibe coding 1990 style. Can you make it run on its own? Game of life style, kind of. Actually, I was that was in general. I was thinking about, the fact that you could add like these generic block types in the game, and that was one thing I was thinking about adding for. I was actually thinking about adding that like game of life blocks that are just automatic. Probably when I add some more of the like server side stuff for like server side processing of entities, that would be probably I would just add like a game of life block to test that. But I'm not quite there yet. Professors, teachers need to work harder to implement AI into their coursework. Yeah, I mean, students are going to bring it in no matter what. AI really helps with understanding or reiterating topics in a way that I can understand, where perhaps a book only states in a one-way perspective. Yeah, I haven't used like ChatGPT that much, but there have been a few cases where I was almost going to use it the other day for researching stuff about like some obscure like how to dig up the information I want for like terminal settings, and I found it's a great like it'd be great to like to produce like a summary for further research. So when you want to know like what direction to go in to research something, it could be pretty useful. So sad. Glad I went to school, uni, without ChatGPT. Yeah, I was. I mean, it's so interesting. I don't even think about. When I think about academics, in a lot of cases, I just totally forget that AI is even a thing now. Because when it wasn't that long ago, that I was teaching, and the idea of like students using AI on the exam, the students would cheat, but I was using the internet to write my essays since 8th grade, 1999. Totally, Chris, what you can plug it into with the book is that and ask it to clarify. It's a great tool for people who actually want to learn. Unfortunately, a large majority just want to get their homework done. Yeah, what's necessarily going to happen, like, unless colleges and universities want to be like completely obsolete and have their degrees be worth nothing, they're going to have to adjust to this new AI reality. Just copied and pasted one time. I even left a click here to learn more. Did you pass? 100% agree. It's helped me learn so much about basically anything I want, despite it being kind of dumb and lying sometimes. Yeah. Brainstorming, for instance, and some models are better for some things. I have not used ChatGPT that extensively. I used it when it first came out, but there's just too many advancements coming out too quickly for me to really even process it. And now we have all these like Chinese models and stuff now. ChatGPT censored, so it's not great for creative stuff. Maybe AI will force schools to focus more on creativity and problem solving instead of regurgitating nonsense. Yes, AI is fulfilling that role for us. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, like, even historically, even without AI, we could have just had, like, better teachers. Like, we knew how to teach better before AI. And now now basically the bar is gonna get even higher. Like, and teachers are gonna be, the most bad teachers are going to be extremely obsolete. You can basically outsource your degree to ChatGPT. You will end up screwing yourself. But what does the future look like where everyone has access to ChatGPT all the time? All right, let's try and fix that configuration thing. Let me think. What was I trying to do? How hard would it be to game of life this bad boy? Make it run on its own? That is one of the features that I would like to have, like a game of life block in the game. But I guess, I mean, technically just coding game of life would be easier than adding it to this, because I want to add it in a very specific way. Can't wait for doctors that went through pre-med on chat sensors. Yeah, I mean, I almost think some doctors are quite bad. It might even be better for doctors to rely on ChatGPT. Doctors will probably have their own AI assistants soon enough for diagnosing and treatment. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised. Like you could make that as a one SaaS service. You could just have like one centralized database of like all cases. Maybe it has to be a Maven project. future of medicine is custom. Now it's just a numbers game. A decay that requires an overhaul of pharmaceutical industry. Sometimes doctors are just pushing a product. They may treat symptoms and not sources. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the financial motivations that are behind everything in the healthcare industry are disturbing, and I think getting worse. I think like curing illness is not a good business model, which is, I mean, so many like even in my own family's experiences with doctors, like just ridiculous stories, like going to get an X-ray of I knew someone who got an X-ray of their hand, and they're like, "You're gonna have to get surgery right away." And they were looking at the X-ray, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I don't have a ring on that finger." So they wanted to like do surgery on her hand when they actually had someone else's X-ray, and just like, you know, my grandfather went in for some like routine examination for like colonoscopy, I think, and they punctured his bowel and stuff, and that just leads to so many more complications. And yeah, I don't know. Hopefully AI will fix it all. Be interesting to fine tune an LLM with health info and data. Yeah, specifically because you could take a person's individual medical history, and you could put that in the LLM, and that, like, because I think it's so common for people to go in and get like they'll have all these symptoms, and they spend like years, like 10 years going between doctors, and then every doctor is like, "Oh, you don't have this thing," but it's actually some like really specific, you know, autoimmune thing, and just every doctor doesn't know about that, or they have to learn everything from scratch. Oh yeah, I think I had to. Recently had my retina scanned. The venous structure in my eyes being compared by an AI to previous scans. It's being used to detect cancers and stuff like that related to the eye. Yeah, I mean, when like cutting edge medicine is so amazing when it works, and like when you can actually get it. But I think like 95% of the advancements we can do in medicine are just like have a doctor that cares about you, that actually like writes the right medication name, and, you know, has an interest in your well-being, and who's not like constantly trying to rush you out the door. And friend is doing something like that with psychology. Don't you guys have free healthcare. I guess in Canada we have free healthcare. I haven't been to a doctor in like 15 years probably. I don't have a family doctor, and it's from what I haven't even tried. It's like basically borderline impossible. I know someone who like got a new family doctor, but then the doctor he said it's like his medical license expired, and then he had to leave the country. It's a great product. ID sleeve, ID cards to give the EMT access to medical records on site. Probably do QR codes or something. Paranoid's already. Nah, I don't want the government. It's not my business. Yeah, I'm sure any time you can do this stuff, it can be abused. Good morning from Indonesia. How's it going? Next 45. Wow, the viewers is going up quite a bit. 76. Why is there so many people watching this? I don't either, but there are people not as schizo as you. It's all the same problem. Incentives. Teachers, doctors, landlords, etc. When money is your end goal, half of them are going to be trash. I thought I had skin cancer, and I used ChatGPT to analyze the picture I took of it. Turned out it was only ingrown hair. Well, it depends. Hopefully the analysis was correct, though. What are you coding? Right now, I was working on my block mining simulation game. I'm actually just getting used to using this IntelliJ. I haven't used it much in the past, but so I'm trying to figure out why my thing is not working. I'm trying to pull this from memory. I don't remember how I set this up last time. Do you ever think Gen would be this popular? No, I mean not when I met him. Yeah, I guess if I had known, then I should have. I probably should have stayed in NVIDIA. That was the hindsight's 2020. Back when I was at NVIDIA, NVIDIA was not a prestigious company. It was kind of like a second choice. Nobody really desired to go there. Oh, you had it removed. Have a great night, brother. I'm gonna take the dog for a walk. Touch some grass for a bit. Yeah, I've been doing my weekly live streaming in the woods. So, but anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for the super generous super chat. Have a good night. No NeoVim. I usually use just regular Vim, but I've avoided IDEs for years, so just to have like some mindless thing to make progress on, I just do some of this on stream. VS Code stream soon. I don't know. I can't think of any reason to use VS Code. I guess it's probably got some like AI integration and stuff in it. That's one of the things that like there's no AI, as far as I know anyway. There's no AI integration in Vim, and I think that's why I think I should learn an actual IDE, so that I'm not like completely left behind in the dust. It must not have been that one. Well, maybe I still have this open. Recent projects. Oh, that was it. So it's application. Okay, that's what I had. You can use GitHub Copilot, and it allows you to attach your code base, certain files for context question. It's actually not too bad. Yeah, that's where I think, like I haven't really used much of the AI coding stuff, because I remember thinking like, wow, this could be like really exceptional if it's trained on knowledge in a specific repo. Because when I first used it, it was like, you maybe like paste in some Python code, paste on like 100 lines of Python code and say like, you know, tell me something about this, or like find the bug, and it would do something kind of half impressive. But if you can actually attach it to an existing repo, and it can like the interface for interacting with stuff, that's where I kind of think it could maybe be like, wow, this is a next level. Because I'm sure like it's probably good enough now that I could just ask it stuff about like find a bug in my repo, or like find some or even more, just more refactoring, assisted refactoring and stuff. And okay, this is exactly what I had set up. But I can't run it. If there's an easy way to continuously fine-tune your repo to an LLM, that may be a game changer. Yeah, so the existing GitHub Copilot attach your code base to certain files for context. Yeah, I guess if you can like if you can constantly make a small change and then attach that version and then just keep going in that loop, I could see that being pretty powerful. And the context now the context window size is large enough, you don't have to fine tune. Works really well. Yeah, that sounds interesting enough. I feel like I'm behind. Like I've been spending so much time on working on the social media stuff that it hasn't left me. It has not left me enough time to actually write a lot of code. But at the same time, like that does sound like it could. It could potentially get pretty close to like breakthrough territory. Maybe a lot of coders will get replaced. Who knows? I guess I'd have to experiment, because when I used ChatGPT before, it was like, this is actually pretty, like it's 90% the way there. Like it felt like if I wanted to ask it to like write merge sort for me, or like write merge sort in a specific way, it seemed like something I could maybe use, and it would maybe I wouldn't have to change that much. It would like just be subtly wrong sometimes. But if that got from like 90% to the way like 90% accuracy to 99% accuracy, and if it worked on like the existing code bases, that's a real key. Use Cloud for coding stuff, by the way, for boilerplate. For quick iteration, it's pretty useful. Like 90% of them. Yeah, it's it sounds like something I'll have to actually use. I guess VS Code is not something I've ever really. That's a Microsoft product, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. I may have to. And I guess Microsoft bought GitHub, so now they're like training on all of our code. It's going to become impossible to like own your own code now. LLMs do kind of hit a wall when things get too complex. I feel like understanding the more lower level stuff is even more important now. Yeah, I guess I won't know until I have a look at it. I know from what I've seen, it's like it surprises me a lot, and I'm like, wow, this could be amazing. But then when it's wrong, it like wastes so much of my time. You can fall into these loops where you can't figure out the problem. That's what you do, switch modules, like feed your code base into cloud, and then it gets stuck. Switch to ChatGPT. Open source is the future. Everything is going to be open source. Yeah, that probably will be true. Because like keeping things proprietary will basically become impossible, because everything will be stolen all the time. Because when you think about it, like China is creating these competing AI models, and just think about you could just ask yourself, like, how would you write? Let's say you wanted to exfiltrate all the knowledge in ChatGPT. You could just create like a random question generator, like, who was the first president? Who was the last president? Who was the third president and stuff? Like you could basically treat like, you could even just, as long as you had a database of organic searches of information, just feed those searches into ChatGPT and then exfiltrate all that data and then just train that. But then if you build a model based on that people can query, then someone else is just going to steal all your data. And you could use the output of either one of them to train and fine tune the other ones. You definitely waste your time when you just end starting over. Yeah. It's kind of like that one friend that knows a lot of stuff, but also bullshits too. He's your friend though, so you know when he's lying. But with LLMs though, it's worse. You can't tell when they're lying. DeepSeek is trained on ChatGPT. DeepSeek, is that the Chinese model? Oh yeah, I remember what this was. So I remember on stream, I ran this, and then what happened was it was getting stuck. Yeah. Okay, so that's why that one gets stuck. Edit configurations. DeepSeek used ChatGPT as a foundational model and then built on top of it. Pretty interesting architecture. Wait a second, this is a bash script? Which thing is a bash script? The only bash script. So close some of these. This is the bash script to run the program. Two hours ongoing. Yeah, I guess we're let's see, it's 10. I think it's 10 o'clock here. What time did I start? I thought it started at No, that can't be. Oh yeah, about 2 hours. Okay, what was the problem with this? Be honest, would you buy Nvidia stock at 3 trillion market cap? I don't know. That's very much a speculative question. When coded in Perl, trust me, 10 times harder. But once you got it running, you're shining. Your code lasts for a decade. I don't know Perl, so. That is interesting. Hypothetical speculation. How much upside could it really have? Seems like a bubble. In my opinion, these are not even like programming questions. You have to like, I mean, if you really want to get analytical and try to answer it, you got to look at go into their balance sheet and look at earnings per share and do some. I'm sure Goldman Sachs has written a giant manual with like 100 pages of research on how much they think they could make, and it's a hard problem to know the answer to. And there's a lot of money riding on it if you get it right. So you can bet there's a lot of smart people who have researched this. So this one builds. So why does this one build, but the other one doesn't? I abandoned Java, never never liked Python. It's an old copy of Perl, something for privileged in Boston that have Apple computers. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about all that stuff about the Canadian and Australian economy, but yeah, I know sometimes you can get political when discussing your favorite programming language. The ls command is my favorite Linux command. What is the difference between these two? Let's see. I'll have to go back and look at the stream where I actually set this up. They have a different icon. Does anyone know if those two icon colors mean something? That's green. That one's purple. Foo Fan says, hello, how's it going? I'm just trying to figure out the difference between these two build configurations I have that are supposed to be the same, but I can't figure, one of them's working, one of them's not. GPT said green icon is open and active projects, and purple icon is recent projects. Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, I wonder if maybe the build is if it was actually just relying on like old builder for artifacts, because there's nothing, I didn't specify anything in there for actually like how to run it. Like the Spring Boot repackage thing, I haven't specified that anywhere. I would assume that would be necessary. Let's do that. Oh, I think okay, this worked, I think. So I think the issue might be there's just something missing in my build process. Let's do the following thing: build, rebuild. Now, will this work or cause an error? Because my guess is if I do a clean, then it'll probably not work. Because it doesn't know how to. There's nothing in there about building the JNI library or anything. So I expect that this will fail. Probably with that JNI library missing. Yep. Okay, so that means yeah, that makes sense. Then I guess The working directory is correct. But it says script not found. Maybe it doesn't like that. Configuration is still incorrect. Huh. It says it's incorrect, but it actually runs. It lied to me. It wasn't incorrect. Now, I have no idea if this will, like, work with things. Like when I have when there's a compile error in somewhere, what will it do? There it goes, it works. It runs. It's kind of impressive that it actually runs in here. I think it has some bugs. I remember running this before. Yeah, it messes up with the blocks. Java? Yep, it's Java. I thought this was a Bash channel. What's your main favorite programming language? In my opinion, I don't really have a favorite programming language. I would say every programming language is a tool that makes sense in a specific context. Like there's a lot of things where you have to use C and you can't use Java, and vice versa. Well, I guess maybe not necessarily the other way around, but there's cases where you could do it in C, but you'd be insane to try and do it that way. How's your financial situation right now? So actually, I just got the YouTube payment for February, and so I'm totally out of debt right now. So I'm working on a new video. Been working on it for a while, but revenue is trending down now because I haven't published many videos. But for the last few months, I've been cash flow positive and been the last YouTube payment was $3,500 for last month. So break even on a month basis. If I make more than $1,600 right now, I'm breaking even. So I paid off all the debt, and I had just enough money that I bought a backup camera, so that'll make it easier. I don't have to completely tear down my setup. So I bought a second tripod, a second camera, so that way I can duplicate my setup. And that way I'm not. That sounds like a small thing, but it should make it way faster to make more videos and make more content that way. So anyway, financial situation is improving. You went to Warren Reynolds from Ukraine, got 4 years. Millions of rocket. I mean, this is not a political debate channel. I've thought about it, like how to deal with like politics things my opinion is like if the politics thing comes up, if it's related to the like topic of discussion, I think it's fine. But that just sounds like a random interjection. I've thought about doing some videos on rare earth elements because there are some actual interesting technological applications of rare earths. But arguing about Ukraine and stuff like that is not it's not really conducive to setting these environment variables right now. Are you going to do more hour-long style videos? The current one I'm working on is going to be fairly long. I probably long term I'll probably try to not do them because they take a long time. What are we coding today? We are coding a terminal-based block mining simulation game. What are the political implications of Bash? That's a good question. Let's see, what was I doing? Okay, the script works. I guess that's not an ideal way to build. So it's probably it's going to build way more things than it needs to. Let's try something. I'm curious if keeps saying configuration's incorrect, but it's wrong. It's correct. So I just changed it to the ASCII mode graphics. We'll see if this still has that weird bug. I'm not sure what the program should be smart enough to handle that, but it must have something to do with like it's not calculating the widths correctly or something. Okay, here's the restricted graphics mode. So that actually works. All right, I guess that I learned a bit about this tonight. So I think that what this was doing, this was not actually building it. This was just running the already built jar. So we'll have to figure out a more sophisticated way of setting this up. If you know, maybe I need to use like a Maven specific one or something. Or I'll probably have to, I may even have to like modify that script I have. But anyway, I think I'll probably call it a night. Yeah, so this week I'll be probably filming, working on the next video, and we'll be returning next week, same time, or same day as usual. I don't really have a set time, yeah, I don't have content specifically planned. I'll probably might just do another stream like this one, and then eventually once I get the next video out, then I'll maybe start to I'll do another I don't know, maybe one of those 2 to the X ones. Maybe I'll do one for like the around the super stickers or something like that. But all right, that'll be it for tonight. Have a good night, everyone.